Hello again everybody. So today we're going to be learning about models. So what exactly are models? Well, if you want to actually store something in your database, then you need to generate a model. So before we were only displaying stuff, but we weren't actually storing anything. So today we're actually going to be storing stuff. So in order to create a model, let's close this up. So first things first, let's make a new project. Rails new, and we'll make this a cooking app. Just name it cooking. Oops, sorry. New cooking. I'll let it install everything. And now let's create a controller that will hold our recipes. Controller recipe. Oops, forgot to cd into our directory. My bad. Our directory is cooking. And now if we do Rails generate controller, and we'll call it recipe. So now let's open Atom. Just wait for it to open up. It's gonna take a while. And when it's done, we have our recipe controller right over here. So if we actually want to store recipes, we need to create something called a model that holds the recipe model, that basically is imitating our recipe, that's storing everything we want in our recipe model. So in order to do that, let's do Rails generate model recipe, and over here we will type in the table the column name. The column name would be the title and directions, just like that. So now if we actually go here, and there we go, we have a recipe, and we have a title and the directions. So now, after we made changes to our database, we always have to do rakedb migrate, or else nothing will happen. So now we can verify that we have changed stuff in our schema, which is going to hold all of our models for ingredients, for the amount of chefs we have, for the amount of users we have, and so on and so on. So now that we have a recipe model, let's cd into our directory. Oops, my bad, wrong directory. It's cooking. Cd cooking, and then Rails. C will load up our Rails console, and over here, if we type in my bad, recipe.all, we have no recipes because we didn't create any. So we could create a recipe by doing recipe.create, and the title would be title. What is wrong with me? The title would be mac and cheese, and directions. Just write something stupid like stir mac into hot water. Just like that. So now we have a recipe created, and now if we do recipe.all, we have one recipe. And if we were to have multiple recipes, we would have all of our recipes shown in here. So now let's say we want to update this recipe title to let's say we want to change the title to spaghetti and meatballs. So in order to do that, well, first there's actually a really good website, and it shows how to do everything, and it's Active Record, and just over here, and it shows everything on all the awesome stuff you could do with Active Record. And just like that. So assume we wanted to update recipe, we would do recipe update, and then we would change the title to spaghetti, just spaghetti. My bad. Title. Yeah. There we go. We now have a recipe with spaghetti, and let's create another recipe, and recipe dot create title Caesar salad, and directions add chicken, just like that. Whoops, my bad. So, if you have an up key, you can, we're going to name this, have a spelling mistake there, but we'll name this, Caesar salad, and directions, I don't know the directions, so just straight, just add chicken, I don't know. So now we have recipe.all. There we go. We have 2 recipes, and now if we wanted to update recipe number 2, we would do recipe update, and you could update the name or the directions or anything we basically want. And we can also delete a recipe by doing recipe dot destroy, and over here we need to pass in the ID. So let's say we want to destroy the second recipe, and now we no longer have this recipe in our database, only one recipe here. And if we wanted to destroy the first one, we would do recipe destroy, and then we would put the ID of 1 in there. There's many ways you could do it. Suggest you should go on the Active Record website, and there's just so much you could do here. There's something called validations that doesn't allow you to basically input stuff. Make sure like the password field is like greater than a certain amount of characters, and something like that. And it's a pretty useful website, and also it shows you how to add a column, delete a column. So for example, we wanted to add a column, we would do generate migration, add chefs to recipes, and then we would do we would name like chef name, just like that. Oh, my bad, you gotta spell with a lowercase letter. Add chef name. Actually, chef name probably shouldn't be. Actually, we'll add the recipe author to recipes, and then you would do author. So yeah, if you want to add a column, there's Rails G migration, and you could also find that over here. If you go to Google, it tells you how to add a column, rename a column, and so on. Active record. There's a active record. Just if you put an active record, add column over here. It shows you exactly what to do. So after here, like over here, we have add column, recipes, author string. After we have that, all we need to do is just do rake db migrate, just like that. And then if we go to our schema, we now have a new column called author, and we could easily create a new recipe with the author in it. Yeah. So far this is only the model. In our next tutorial, I'm gonna be showing you how to actually put the stuff that we have in our models and putting it into our controllers. So let's say we wanted to list all of our recipes here. We would store them in an instance variable, something like recipe, and then that would be equal to recipe.all. So it's the same thing, but we're just passing it into our recipe controller. And yeah, well, that's for next time. Stay tuned for the next tutorial. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. See ya.